Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
We are Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com. When we decided to talk about ATVs and UTVs, we decided to go big, and that's why we went to the industry leader in ATV and UTV aftermarket parts and accessories, and that is Super ATV. Braden, in short, give me the summary of what Super ATV does.
So at Super ATV, we make everything from suspension components to storage, windshield, tires. We make a little bit of everything for many year make model UTVs and ATVs.
When he says a little bit of everything, they've got a lot of everything if you look at their catalog. And let's start with some of the everythings on this vehicle over here, starting with the winch up front here on this Maverick.
So on this machine, we have one of our ready fit winches. We offer these 25 all the way up to 12,000 pounds, our winches in general. Ready fits 45 and 6,000. One of the things that sets the ready fit aside from any other winches, it's ready to install, hence the name. Solenoid is going to be bolted onto the winch mount on most models, pre-wired, ready to go, just to make it easier for the customer.
The windshield on this vehicle is great, and that's something you specialize in at Super ATV.
So we have a multitude of windshields, everything from a half windshield to a full glass flip down windshield. This one here on this X3 is going to be a flip windshield. So with our windshields, we're going to have a couple of different options on materials. We're going to have just a clear, then we're going to have a scratch resistant clear. Anything that is scratch resistant clear is going to have our proprietary XR optic coating on it, which we do right in Madison, Indiana. Same place that we're cutting these out, bending them, packaging them up, and sending them directly to the customer.
And moving on back then, the light bars and the lights on the side really stand out on this vehicle.
So we got some cubes on this one, as well as a light bar. Bunch of different options and sizes. We have amber lenses for the cube lights now. Then a couple different sizes, lengths of light bars.
And you talked about options on there. You got a lot of options when it comes to racks as well.
So this is going to be our outfitter roof rack. We offer these for a wide variety of machines as well. One of the things that is great about the outfitter roof racks is going to be the options. So you can option these things out. Both machines that we have in here today have one. Few options. We have an outfitter bed rack that'll go right with it, so you can have a continuous storage area on the top of your unit from the front to the rear.
The doors are something Super ATV does as well, and those are great for safety, and there's a lot of functionality added to those as well.
Absolutely. So this is going to be a half aluminum door. We make doors in aluminum. We have them in polycarbonate as well, same material that we're utilizing on our windshields. Wide variety of doors. Full cabin closure doors, you know, for if you're riding in the winter, whatever situation you'd be in.
Of course, Super ATV has a huge selection of suspension parts. You can see them on the radius arms there, and you can also see them on the front of this vehicle. We'll get to that in a minute. First, I want to talk about something you can't see, and something that's super important. It's underneath the skid plate. Tell me about that.
So on this machine, we've got one of our half-inch UH&W skid plates. One thing that really sets our skid plates aside is that we use a patented interlocking design. So the benefit of that is they puzzle piece together essentially. So you're not going to have a piece hanging down that when you crest over a rock that you could potentially rip it off.
That would be a big problem on the trail.
Absolutely.
Sure. And now I mentioned suspension. Let's talk about the A-arms here. How are those different than a stock A-arm we might get in a vehicle like this?
So these are our Atlas Pro arms. These are going to be forward offset, also high clearance, and they're going to be made of a larger diameter tubing. So instead of a 1-inch tube, we make these out of an 1.5 inch in diameter tube.
Obviously, the clearance is something people think about a lot. Why the offset? Why would somebody want that?
Just to gain a larger tire. So a lot of times you end up hitting the tire on the inner fender well. So we're taking that position and moving it forward 1.5 inches or even 2 inches on some A-arms that we offer.
And then this thing is lifted, and you're using portals instead of a lift kit. What are portals for folks who may not know?
So a GDP portal is going to give you lift, 4, 6, or 8 inches of lift, depending on which one you choose, a gear reduction, which we have multiple options of gear reductions for each portal, and then it's also going to give you some width.
Well, let's take a look up here and see how a portal actually works when you crack one open and look at the inside. Now, Braden, what's happening in there?
So what's happening inside of here, the axle is going to be inserted into this upper gear, and then the power is going to be transferred down to the hub, which is going to be on our lower output shaft. So these gears are going to take all the wear and tear and the strain off the transmission, differentials. Also, you get your gear reduction, your width, and in this case, an 8-inch lift.
So it's a double whammy. best of both worlds there. Now, this is a transmission you guys have at Super ATV. How is this better than an OEM transmission that would be on one of these vehicles when you buy it?
We came out with a heavy-duty transmission, but we made something even better. This is a geared reverse transmission. So people that would try to swap a turbo transmission into an XP1000 or a General, things of that nature, we have a direct drop-in. It's a lot more cost-effective and a lot easier to install.
There is a whole world of UTV and ATV accessories and parts at superatv.com. You will not believe what they have for your vehicle. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com and more great products for your vehicle coming up next.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, is brought to you by Amsoil, the first in synthetics, Shade Wagon, throw some shade, and by DragonFireTools.com, industrial workbenches with integrated tool storage.
Motorhead Garage is presented by DragonFireTools.com. These days, vehicles are trending toward larger windshields, a lot more glass, and glass is getting a lot more expensive. It's gone up fourfold the last few years, Dana. Why is that a formula for disaster when it comes to windshields?
What we've seen in the glass market, again, getting larger. You've got vehicles like a Wrangler, there's just a big flat plate on the front of the vehicle. So, we've seen the chip repair industry take over.
It's a bigger target.
Exactly. So now what we're doing is introducing a film that we can get ahead of even the chipping. This will prevent chips. At that point, hopefully help prevent replacement.
And when you say we, you mean Scorpion Coatings.
Exactly.
You guys have been in the coatings business for almost 30 years. Mm-hmm. And so it's obviously a name we can trust. And how is your windshield film different than some of the others that are out there?
So what we've done, we started in window film in about 2008. What we saw with technologies between safety security film and paint protection film, we realized we had something that would take impact, prevent breakage of glass.
So safety and security film, folks would use that in an office building or something like that?
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yep. So what we were able to do was take what a lot of folks are trying to get away with, a thicker 4-6 mil film, which can affect clarity. Mm-hmm. We've gotten it down to a 2 mil film. So now you can take a standard thickness film, apply it to your windshield. It is a shrinkable film, so it doesn't have to be just a flat piece of glass. You can put it on any contoured film or windshield as well.
Of course, this protects from chipping, as you've mentioned. What about UV and that sort of thing?
So this film is just strictly for chip prevention.
Okay.
Now what we're doing, and we'll have it released here very soon, is a wipe-on coating, something similar to like what you see with a ceramic paint protection coating, but that's going to offer your UV rejection up to about 75% heat block.
Now, is this something that I can do myself or something I want to leave to a pro?
A little bit of a combination there. So when you've got a flat windshield like this, that is something a do-it-yourselfer can tackle. So we're actually going to offer pre-cut kits for your Wranglers, your Land Cruisers, your FJs.
Okay.
Now with typical windshields, you've got to contour to the glass. In order to install that, you have to be able to shrink the film to the contour of that glass. That's going to take a professional installer. Gotcha. Now this will be available on our website and also will be available to professional tin shops to do.
So you have dealers all over the country that can do that.
Absolutely.
Very good. So for the DIYer, folks that might have a Jeep or some vehicle where you have the pre-cut piece, what's the installation like? What's the prep first? What do they have to do to get that windshield ready to install?
Obviously got to clean it. You're going to want a simple solution, a little bit of Dawn, some water, scrub that windshield down well. Then we recommend coming behind it with something, maybe like a clay bar. That'll help take the residue and grease, rest of the bug remnants, all that kind of thing off of it. Anything that's left on that windshield, you install this film, it's going to magnify it, so you want to make sure you clean it really well.
How many times you get a hair in your cell phone protector every time you put it on? So I can relate to that.
So then at that point, it's going to be wet the windshield down well, remove the backing from the film, wet the back of the film as well, stick it on, get it into position, take a simple squeegee the water out from behind it, you're done.
And the tools are simple here. We don't need to even cut it because it's already pre-cut.
Exactly.
Are these tools that come with the kit?
They will. So what'll be included with your kit, you'll get a small Olfa knife, a hard card to do the installation, the knife just in case you need to do any minor trimming or anything in the corners, but outside of that, it'll be pretty simple.
For the sake of being expeditious here, you had some assistance. Is this something folks can do by themselves?
You can. Now, I will say I'd recommend if you got an extra set of hands to help get that release liner off and the film in place under the windshield, will make your life a lot easier.
I know folks are also going to wonder, does this come in a tint or is this just clear?
So this is just a clear film. Now, our regular automotive tint lines. We do offer the full variety of VLTs, your 5, 20, 35, you know, all that, all the way up to a 70% VLT. So if you want a lighter tint on your windshield, you can do that, but that's going to be more of a professional installation.
And what happens if I do get a rock hitting this? What's going to happen to it?
Beauty to this, that's one thing we consider this. The price point is going to allow it to be what we consider a sacrificial product. So if a rock of size smacks this film, it may damage the film, but it will protect the glass underneath. You can remove this, replace it. It's going to be about the same cost as a chip repair.
It's going to save you hundreds of dollars potentially.
Exactly.
And it's going to save you an insurance claim if you want to do it that way.
Most
as well.
definitely.
Very cool. Now, I mentioned Scorpion Coatings has been around for about 30 years, and it's not just about window film for you guys. So what other kind of products do you have?
So we started out in 1996 as a spray-on bed liner company. We were the one shop, hey, here's Scorpion XO2, it's our awesome bed liner system. Now in the last 28 years, we've developed out to a full coatings company. We offer polyurethanes, polyureas, urethane coatings, undercoating, body liner. Then in 2008, we got into the window film industry. We've got, you know, your regular automotive tints, now our new windshield film. We've got paint protection film. We've got a full line of residential commercial films. So it's been a fun 28 years for sure. We have done enough of this over the last 28 years that we know we beat this product. This is 2 years in development. So we've run it through the ringer. We take it to our professional shops first, have them install it on customer cars. We get that genuine feedback from the field to know how it's going to perform, and then we bring it here to introduce it.
Window film from Scorpion Coatings. It'll protect your windshield. It'll save you a whole lot of money and a whole lot of effort. You can do it yourself or have a pro do it. You can find all of it at buyscorpion.com. Motorhead Garage rolls on right after this, so please stay tuned.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, coming to you from the Shade Wagon studio.
This is Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com. If you have a trailer, a boat, or a camper, you know that half of the battle is just getting the trailer loaded and getting that thing connected to your vehicle. What's the hard part, Nick?
Personally, for me, getting it on and off the truck. So hand cranking the trailer on and off is, for me, the most time consuming, and in Florida, you're sweating before you get out of the truck.
A lot of folks don't want to take their boat out because of that.
Yeah, they don't want to take it out because it's just loading it onto the truck is just such a pain.
And you're hand cranking?
Yeah, hand cranking. The trailer I cranked the other day was 98 revolutions just to get it to the ground. So you're doubling that just to get it loaded and unloaded.
So trailer gearbox is the solution?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, how does it work?
Yeah, we came up with the gearbox. It replaces you. So you're gonna take your handle off. This will slide on over the shaft. It will linch pin in, and then you raise and lower your landing gear using a cordless drill. That simple, no damage to anything. We don't recommend using an impact or hammer drill because they are meant to destroy things. A normal drill just spins stuff.
So and that's all you need?
That's all you need. You just need to spin it.
And folks are going to ask, how much weight can these handle?
These aren't rated for any weight. Your jacks are what are rated for weight. So if you're weighted and you're spinning your jacks up and down, these will have no problem replacing you. They are 14-to-1 reduction all the way down to a 3-to-1. We have a solution from toy haulers, boats, all the way up to goosenecks and semis.
How do I know which one I need if some of these will cover my application?
Well, if you, our website has a lot of information, but if you ever have any questions, you can always email us directly at sales@trailergearbox.com. We'll ask you to take some pictures, and then we'll get you a solution, no additional charge. So if the bracket that comes with it doesn't work, we'll custom make you one and get it to you with your box, your original order. Normally, the turnaround is about 48 hours.
All right, well, you touched on the brackets there. How do these mount to your trailer?
So you take the handle off your jack, and these normally slip on right over the input. Now, if you have a 4x4 jack, they're meant to go right over that 4x4 square, but some trailers, depending on the clearance, they might not need the bracket, they might need part of it, they might not need any of it. So that's when, if you have any questions, if it's gonna fit, the best solution is to email us, and we can tell you definitively which one you would need and how we can make it work.
All right, and you got this little guy down here.
Yeah, this little guy, this one's for probably your everyday use, your utility trailers, your lawn maintenance guys, your small car haulers, your your boats, anything with the 3 to 5K cylindrical style jack, that is what's made for. It's more of a permanent solution where these are made to be taken on and off. Those style jacks are held in with a pin, so quick release, as you will, like with these, isn't really an option with those style of jacks. But it does replace it, and we also sell a handle for it in case you don't have your drill.
So if you have a pop-up camper or something like that, this is the perfect thing to just leave on it.
Yeah, anything that has that cylindrical style 3 to 5K jack, it's gonna be permanently mounted. There's a plug so no water can get in, but there's also holes in the bottom, so if the water does get in, it drains out. We really thought of everything with that one to make it an everyday use type of thing.
And I can see you also, it's nice and beefy. I called it a little guy, but this thing is...
Yeah, it's 6061 aluminum, all the gears are stainless, and all the internals are either stainless or 140 steel.
Is that the same for the construction?
Yeah, all the shafts are 304 stainless, and then all the gears are 4140 and then annealed and hardened, so good luck with breaking them.
And how do you know that the quality's there when you guys manufacture?
We do everything. It's all made in America. We do most of everything. The one thing we don't is the gears, but we're bringing that in-house as well.
Now, all of these are designed to make your life easier. Here's something that's made to make criminals' life a little harder, a lot harder actually. It's called the trailer shaft. How does it work?
Yeah, so the trailers that your hitch is adjustable in a C channel. You would take your hitch with you, and this would actually lock the C channel. There's no good real way to lock those style of hitches, a bumper pull style trailer with the adjustable hitch. This alleviates all of that. You take your hitch with you, the stainless steel pins slide into the C channel, and there's a locking mechanism in here. Criminals need to either be quick or quiet, and with this, it's impossible. You can't be quiet with it, and you're not gonna be quick. We had somebody spend 30 minutes trying to destroy one, and it saved our customer about $15,000 because they didn't get his trailer.
It's simple. If you have a trailer, you need Trailer Gearbox. You can go to trailergearbox.com. All of this made in the USA, and they back it with their warranty. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com, so keep it right here.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com. Industrial workbenches with integrated tool storage. And brought to you by PaintedAutoBodyParts.com, the leading U.S. auto body parts online store. Cell phone seat, hands-free is now hassle-free. And by Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radio since 1977.
Now, what do you think would happen if I took this wire, went from the positive to the negative directly without any protection or any load on it? Well, can't be good. Don't try this at home, folks, but I'm going to give it a shot. Let's see. I'm going to get these pliers out here. So if I went across there, probably wouldn't be pretty. And it's not. That's pretty good. So that thing actually went up in smoke, which is really cool. Welcome to this AMSOIL Tech Tip. Yes, we're talking about circuit devices, protection devices. Just like engines have to be protected, well, circuits do too. Let's take a look at some circuit protection devices. The first one up there, well, there's a bunch of fuses. Over on the right, well, it's a circuit breaker. It gets hot with heat, opens and closes, and the last one is a fusible link, kind of what we just burned, but I can show them to you right here, which is really neat. So on our first circuit here, I have a fuse. Now, why would you even want a fuse? Well, you want to protect the whole circuit from any kind of damage if there's a short or anything going on, or like I showed you earlier with no load. And that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to bypass the load, which are the light bulbs, come over here, grab this, and when I do that, keep your eyes right here on this fuse because instantaneously, we're sure hoping it's going to pop. So here we go. That's it. That thing popped, circuit's inoperable, the fuse did its job. Next circuit over here, well, this is actually a circuit breaker. So we'll hook up our power supply right here, and this is a circuit breaker. So if I did the same thing, I bypass that load once again. This is called a short circuit. So if I come over here when I do it, watch this right here. This bimetallic strip's gonna open, and then eventually it's gonna close once it cools down. So here we go, 3, 2, 1. Bam, it's open. Slowly, slowly closing. Resets, we'll do it again. Bam, open, and slowly, slowly closing. Circuit protection devices, pretty cool. Last but not least is kind of what we just did there. This is called a fusible link. This is 4 wire gauges smaller than the wire it's protecting. So it's the weakest link in the whole circuit here. So if I go over here and I connect this right here, Once again, I'm going to try to short this, and what we're hoping is the fusible link will burn and none of the circuit will. So watch this fusible link here, and we're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Oh, come on, somebody burn. There it goes. That circuit can't hold it. What's happening is those amps are running so fast, so quickly, something's got to give in that circuit there. Man, Len, we're talking about a massive amount of smoke, my man.
What did you do here? Looks like you created a little bit of smoke.
We did. You know, circuit protections are huge, but even bigger, engine protection, your whole vehicle protection. That's what AMSOIL is all about.
Right, and you know, you don't want these types of things to happen inside your engine because it's not as easy as replacing a fuse or changing the wire. It could be changing an engine, a transmission, who knows, but it's going to be expensive. So what we do at AMSOIL is we break everything so that you don't have to. So we put these oils into situations that most people would never put them in. In our testing facilities, in our chemical lab, we make sure that we put them in a situation where it's way too hot or there's way too much stress, so that any of the products that we're recommending for the equipment are going to perform to the top level and then some more.
Yeah, and I saw some of your driving habits, man. You definitely tested out. You know, electrical circuits need to be protected, and so does your engine. So for maximum protection and peace of mind, just go to amsoil.com.
The PaintedAutoParts.com Motorhead of the Week is a living legend. In fact, he's arguably one of the greatest drag racers of all time. It's none other than 16-time NHRA Funny Car champion John Force. Even if you're not a drag racing fan, you probably know Force's name. His record of nearly 160 race wins may never be broken. And of course, you've probably seen John's horrific crash in Richmond back in June. He incurred several injuries, the most serious being a traumatic brain injury. At the time of this recording, Force has been moved from the hospital to a rehab center. He's on the mend, but he still needs good thoughts and good wishes from everyone. And that's why I wanted to make him the PaintedAutoParts.com Motorhead of the Week. I've known John Force for more than 20 years, and I know that if anybody can get through something like this, it's John Force. Champ, I hope you know everyone is pulling for you more than ever. Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, returns in 7 days. We hope you join us then. Until then, drive safely.